Hi fellas, just another rambling update. Um, I have been working on my birthday project. Um, I've started putting some colors on, working on flesh and some reds, putting some blocking in some basic colors on the British and the French. Um, I've got the horses being primed for all the miniatures. But I'm taking my time with these. They're such nice models. I really want to take my time and get them to look really nice and base them up nice. Um, but I'm also working on, like, I guess I've got like two major projects going all at the same time, which is kind of unusual for me. Usually I just have one project going on at a time. But I've got the 3D modern project going. As you can see in the video, there's some more BTRs there. I just posted one video just before this one. Um, it's worth checking out if you're into modern. Um, I'm also working with my son to create a whole bunch of new scenery for 15 and 20 mil, and some of it will be usable for 28 mil as well. But yeah, I've been thinking about my new projects for in the new year, and I do I'll, I make a decision of what I'm going to do for the next year just before Christmas, and usually I'll try to get at least one item, like a rule book or something, for that project at Christmas time. Um, uh, I'm looking at digging out my ancients, and doing ancients for the new year. I do have an Imperial Roman army, and it's probably 3/4 of the way painted, what I do have. It's fairly large, but I'm thinking about rebasing it. What's made me think about pulling my ancients out is the fact that Mantic Games has put out um, a Kings of War historical book, or it's coming out. It's up for pre-order right now, which I think I'm going to pre-order it on Friday. Um, I'm looking for something to play, some basic games with some of my friends. Nothing too in-depth, you know. And I'm thinking that might be the rule system to play, because I've tried the fantasy rules and I enjoyed them. They were quite fun. Um, and I like the idea of doing up decorative, dioramic looking bases, and I'm thinking that's what I want to do. I also have Ancient Britons, um, and I have Samurai. They're Samurai. And I'd love to pull my Samurai out and base that up and do some interesting dioramic looking bases. So that's one of my projects. Um, the other project is, you know, some of my existing projects are just going to continue on into the new year. Like I don't consider them new projects, but continue on of projects that I've always worked on, and that's my Napoleonics for black powder. I'm doing quite well with that. With this generals and brigade commanders and army commanders, I I have enough to play now. As soon as these guys are painted and based, um, which makes me happy because it's been a long project. And it's always so impressive to look at sitting on the shelf, looking at both the French and the British armies. And I'll continue painting that stuff in the new year. But the other black powder project that I've taken on, and I'm pretty excited about this because I've always wanted to do it. It's American Civil War in 28 mil. I've done American Civil War in 15 mil. I've done it in 20 mil when I was a kid with the old Airfix miniatures and stuff like that. But this will be the first time I've done it in 28 mil, and I'm really excited about doing it in 28 mil. I will continue on working on my battle group, World War II in 15 mil. I really, really enjoy that game. It's one of my favorite games. Um, and I'll be working on continuing on with different armies for that. And this year, I was supposed to start it this year, but just the way things have ended up, I spent a lot of time working on my black powder Napoleonics this year. And whenever I got a chance, I'd work on it. But I had wanted to start muskets and tomahawks, and I've got lots of miniatures for it and stuff like that. And I started painting some units up, but I put them aside. When I moved, I packed them away. I haven't unpacked them yet. It's on my list for next year. I really like muskets and tomahawks. I like the time period. My son is starting a new project this year. Well, I was going to be starting it hopefully this month. I'm kind of hoping. We've already started making some scenery for it, and that is Halo ground combat. That's gonna be his very first large-scale miniatures combat game. He started out with X-Wing, and you don't really paint that, so he got into that. Then he got into Imperial Assault from Fantasy Flight Games, which you can paint the miniatures or play with them the way they are. He's chosen to paint them, and he's had quite a bit of fun with those. He's still painting up, and still got lots to paint for that. But he really wants to start Halo ground combat, and he's a big Halo fan. So I'm working with him to do that project. So that's a project that we have together. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else. There's lots of games out there that I've looked at, and I know the new Bolt Action is coming out, the new revised edition, and I love Bolt Action, but I don't know if I want to take on, like, I've got a fully painted German army, a Fallschirmjäger army in 28 millimeter, and some friends have a couple other armies, but I'm finding that we play more 15 millimeter World War II than anything else. And it's just more popular, epic looking games. So I don't know if we're going to continue on with Bolt Action. I'm trying to make that decision whether I'm going to continue on playing Bolt Action. I know there's people that are out there that are playing 15 mil Bolt Action, and we've discussed that, and we might do that. Whether we're going to get the 2.0 rulebook, I'm not quite sure yet. Conflict 47 looks really cool as well, and I do have a couple of their models, but they're in 15 millimeter. So there's a possibility that we might get into Conflict 47, but in 15 millimeter. And I know there's some other people that are doing that as well. You know, too many projects, and I'm trying to not do that. I love my Napoleonics. I've always loved American Civil War, always. Large library of books, and have enjoyed the whole time period. And I have not played any American Civil War miniature games in probably 20 years. So it's one of those projects that I really want to do. It's the same with the French Indian War. Two time periods that I just love. This modern project right now, I don't think I would have taken it on, but I was unpacking, my games room and setting up stuff finally as I moved into this new place. And I found a box full of 20 mil miniatures and tanks and other stuff, and I had seen quite a few people posting about Team Yankee, but I really wasn't interested in the rules, but I really like, you know, the vehicles and modern combat, and I was like, oh well, I'd like to play it in 15 mil because there's a lot of stuff out in 15, but I've got all this 20 mil. And then I thought to myself, well, wait a minute, I just bought myself a 3D printer. I wonder if I could print all the tanks and vehicles that I need. So I started looking into it, and sure enough, I'm pretty sure I can print 80%. That's why I've given myself a goal, printing 80% of the miniatures that I need for the game. And I've ordered the rulebook that I want to play. I've looked into it, and I really like it. It's Saber Squadron. And I'll put a link in the video down below for Saber Squadron rules. I bought the main rule book and the PDFs. I'm just waiting for the hardcover rule book to show up. But I've been reading through the PDF, and it's the type of game I like. The combat level of companies and stuff like that with platoon support and stuff like that. I'm really enjoying reading the book right now. Yeah, it's just lots going on. Always with the winter, I always paint a lot more in the winter. This summer, a little bit less. I enjoy the weather and get outside and stuff like that. But I've started now painting more, building more. Right now, right tonight, I'm just cleaning more vehicles and stuff like that. Um, I don't think there's any other projects. You know, there's so many cool games out, but budget-wise, you can't play everything, and time-wise, you can't play everything. You have to pick and choose. And I think I'm at the stage with my Napoleonics that I'm probably not buying anything new for a little while, maybe until next summer. I've got lots of maybe some basic maybe a few more units of basic infantry. I could use some more French infantry. I've got lots of British that I still have to paint, but I could use some more maybe French infantry or British cavalry. I don't think I have any British cavalry, but I'm at the stage where I really don't think I need to buy any more until closer to the summer of next year. I think I've got enough to play with. I just have to get it painted and based and stuff. With this present to myself, I've got my commanders and stuff like that, and I should be able to play. With American Civil War, I managed to get a deal on a bunch of Confederate infantry recently on a trade site. And so that'll give me a good start. But I'm thinking about buying the Perry's 2-player box set for American Civil War, just to get some of the core units and start building and painting, and maybe some brigade commanders, division commanders, that kind of thing, and just build and paint that until I get them done, then purchase something else. You know, get enough to play small games, but get them painted really quick. With muskets and tomahawks, I've got enough miniatures to play that game. The only thing that I might be missing or low on is Native Americans, so Indians, So I'll be buying some more of those. And that's the only thing I need to buy for that. Because I have plenty of infantry, plenty of militia. Um, so I'm okay there. With World War II, for battle group, I have no shortage of things to paint. Unless it's something really cool, I'm probably set for models for that. It's just painting them. And right now I am, whenever I want to take a break from the modern or my Napoleonics, I've got a tray of German Fallschirmjägers in 15 mil that I'm painting up. I also have a tray of early war French as well that I'm painting up. And all the vehicles for that French army are pretty much all 3D printed. Um, I'll have to do a video on those. Right now they're all primed up, and I'll do a video on those, and that way people can see them. It looks pretty nice. I'm just trying to think of what else, but I think, you know, I think I'm trying to budget and try to stick with the things that I'm doing. I see so many cool games, and it's like eye candy. Um, the Clockwork Goblin miniatures for Conflict 47 are just awesome, and I'd love to play that. But at this point, I'm seriously thinking about trading my 28 mil for putting it up on a trade site and see if I can trade it for you know, Napoleonics or American Civil War or something I'm working on currently, or selling it to buy those things. Because I'd rather see somebody else get some use out of the army than it just sitting here collecting dust. I think I also have a Russian army that's just sitting collecting dust as well. So I think I'll be going through some of my stuff. That's another thing. As gamers, we have so much stuff, you know, and I've started going through stuff, and I'm setting it on shelves to be traded or sold off, the stuff that I'm not using, because I'd like somebody else to get some use out of it. But with that, guys, I think I'm going to sign off. But I thought I'd do a ramble. I was just sitting here and I'm like, what are my projects? What am I going to do for the new year? And I have the feeling that's what I'm going to do. You know, that Kings of War historical rule book. I found Kings of War very easy to figure out, and easy to teach people. And I like the idea of how the trays, you know, you could have in each individual guy, or you can do dramatic looking movement trays and stuff like that, like mini dioramas. I like that idea. It's something different, and I think that's what I'm going to do with Ancients. And there's, you know, I'm going to Fraser, VK, thanks for the shout out. I have to say thank you very much. That was really kind of you. I've really enjoyed watching you doing your Spanish Civil War buildings and stuff like that, and painting the armies and stuff like that. That was very kind of you. And Curtis at Tabletop Commanders, and Ian at Tabletop Commanders, and Neil, and Gavin, and all you guys are great. I like hanging out with you guys when I get a chance to paint with you guys. And when I'm not able to paint with you guys, well, I watch the video, so I guess I am painting with you guys. So hopefully I'll get to do that some more this year. And with that, guys, I think I'm going to call it an evening and maybe clean some more vehicles before I go to bed. Thanks, guys.